All right, welcome back. On realcopstoriesvideos.com, we have 355 stories. You'll love them all. Vice, narcotics, gangs, inside stuff, outside stuff, back scene stuff. Just look them all up. They're fun. There's some gross alerts on some of them, so you'll enjoy them. Now we're going to a different format. We're going to question and answers right now. We have over 20 questions that have come in, and I'm answering them. And if you want to ask me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. Okay, here's one of the questions.
Were you involved in any riots?
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple right now, and then later on I'll talk about another one, one of the big ones. Okay, but right now let's talk to us back in the 70s. Okay, here's the first one. I had a couple of years on, and you're always supposed to carry your helmet in the car. Okay, and we threw them in the back seat. We never wear helmets. I mean, come on. We thought we'd never wear them. Okay, so there you go again. You don't think you're never going to do something. Here it comes. Okay, so we're working patrol. We're down in the south part of our division, which is down by Vernon, way down south. And it's Saturday night. Okay, so we're driving along. Okay, so I'm trying to go off on these little tracks as I go, so you can give you the whole picture. So it's about 10 o'clock at night, Saturday night, and we had this side thing again. We had speakers in our cars that we hear other cars broadcasting. Okay, hear that. And then we shared a frequency with another division, because there was not enough frequencies in those days, so the quieter divisions shared a frequency. Hotter divisions had their own, and that's how it worked. We only had so many frequencies. So we shared a frequency with another division north of us. So we heard her put out a call, or she put out a call, some unit requesting a backup at the American Legion Hall on Eastern. Okay, now we've been there a few times backing up some people, and it's, we knew there's a big dance hall there. So we go, oh, look at that. Okay, none of our division, none of our concern, because they have their own. They have their own 6 or actually had about 10 two-person units working that division, maybe 12 on a Saturday night. We had about maybe 18. We're all over the place, So they got plenty of help. Okay, so I'm talking a minute goes by. Okay, officer needs assistance. American Legion Hall, officer needs assistance. Whoa, that's interesting, because it's when a minute went by, and all of a sudden what happened was we found out somebody inside, officers got a call. They went into the American Legion Hall, and they got in a fight. People are jumping the officers. So there was one officer ran out to his car, we didn't have any radios on our sides, puts out a backup and ran back inside. Okay, first car got there to back them up. They're starting to get out. They get balls thrown at them. Okay, so they put out an assistance call. Okay, this is what happened. So we're sitting there and so we go, that's interesting. So my partner goes, why don't we start heading that way? I said, well, you think you're really going to need us? Yeah, let's just head that way. Okay. 2 minutes goes by. Officer needs help call. Okay, officer needs help call is related to somebody shooting at me. I'm shooting at someone. Someone's hanging off a bridge. This is relegated to very serious stuff. Okay, so we hear a help call come out. They're getting jumped. Okay, we just figured, so get on this freeway, and we had one freeway all the way up to where you have to go. So my partner's already motoring. Okay, so again, this is happening minute, 2 minutes, pretty fast. Next call comes out. She says, any unit in the adjoining divisions respond to help this unit at Eastern, at the American Legion Hall, bring your helmets. Oh my gosh, we're like, oh my gosh, so boom, take it off. Okay, so you remember now, we had, back in one of the stories, our police cars drive all day long at 30 miles an hour. You don't see this Maricopa County sheriffs going, a 30-minute, 100-mile-an-hour pursuits. Their engines are going great. They got 440 Magnums. We just have regular cars. So when my partner took off, we hear this just sputtering, because my car friend over here will tell me, sputtering, and you look out the window, all this smoke's coming out. It didn't blow oil. It's all the carbon. All the stuff's blowing out. So after about 2 minutes of that, now you're free rolling, right? So I'm over the seat trying to get our helmets, because they're rolling around the back seat. Take his out, unzip it. Here's your helmet. Trying to put it on. Well, we never put our helmets on. So they're not, all helmets have, like anything like that, they have an inside liner. They're just supposed to adjust to your head, pull the straps tight. Well, we never had do this before. So I take mine out, put it on. Well, it comes all the way down, because there's no adjustment. You might as well just wear a bucket over your head, for crying out loud. Okay, so I'm trying to adjust mine. He's driving. He goes, here, tighten this up. So I'm flying up there, okay? And then she says, all units responding, wear your helmets, wear your helmets. Oh, man. So it took us a while to get there. It took us maybe, I'll say a while, 6 minutes, okay, which is a long time, but then again, it isn't a long time. Come around the corner, there's a major street, and then Eastern goes like this. We come around the corner, we had to slam on the brakes, because for about a block and a half was lined with police cars. 4 across, 6 across, all the lights are going, Everybody's running with their sticks. Oh my gosh, okay. So we pull up, we look, and then the supervisor over here standing over here, and he waves us over like this. Big German guy. Goes, pull over, and he sees two. So you two, get in the car with us. Get in the car with these guys. Well, they run in the car. He goes, okay, you four, break up pockets of resistance. Get out of here. Break up pockets of resistance. I never forget that. It's 45 years ago. I go, what? We look at each other. Okay, so we just drive around looking for people in, I guess they wanted us to break up people in groups to make sure they didn't, because what was happening is, now I'm here, so I can back up to see how it started. Okay, like I told you, they got a call. Somebody was fighting. First officer get there, they're fighting the suspects. Goes out, requests a backup, go inside. First car gets there, they get balls thrown at them. They put out an assistance call, they run in. Now they're fighting the cops. 4 cops, somebody runs out, puts out a help call, goes back inside. Units are responding as they're coming. People are coming out of the place. Cops coming into the place, and they're getting rocks and balls. That's where the call's coming out. That's why they're there. Okay, so now we know there's like 12 cops inside fighting. I mean, literally with their sticks, trying to get a suspect. They're trying to defend themselves. So more cops are pouring in. More people are coming out. Okay, it's like a revolving door. It's really bizarre. So we're looking for groups of people. So we'd see like 6 people get out. Go, where are you going? Get out of here! And just, got our sticks out. We don't know what's going to happen because there's one officer's got a hold of his head. He took a bottle. I mean, it's like, oh my God. So break them up. Go over here. Go over there. So we were doing what we were told to do. We didn't do anything other than that. We didn't go in there and start beating people. We just said break up, break up. We figured 2 people walking together is better than 8. Another car with 4 guys in it and driving around breaking up people. So it took a while, maybe half an hour. But in the meantime, there's 2 helicopters. There's usually 2 in the city anyway. One in the valley and one in downtown. They're both over with floodlights going, with their pieces of, get back in your cars and get out of the area, yelling at the citizens. They're all looking up. More cops coming, more cops. I mean, there must have been at least, I don't want to exaggerate, maybe 80 officers there. 80. Now, if you drive around your city streets, wherever you live in this country, and you see 2 police cars with 3 cops or 4 cops, whoa, what's that? Or you happen to see an episode where an officer taking someone down, and my friend over here has, you see 6 cops, a sergeant, whoa! Can you imagine 80 cops? They're everywhere. Sticks out, helmets on, visors down. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, whew. I mean, I'm part of the 80 officers, and I'm in awe of this, because you don't see many officers together, okay? So anyway, after about 30 minutes, one of the choppers left, some of the guys are leaving, the cops are leaving, the hall's cleaned out, they're dragging like a dozen people out, men and women, handcuffed. Women come out with, their pantyhose are all ripped, and their boobs are up in the air because they've been tackled and grabbed, and the hair's all crooked because, they were the ones involved in the original fight. And we're needing help. No, these guys are doing this. There's a sergeant directing traffic. And take those 2 over there. And the officer the ambulance already got the officer taking him away with his partner taking the officer hit with a bottle. And they got the ball thrower. He got the snot beat out of him because they caught him after he threw the bottle. They didn't like that. I don't know what they did, but they did what they had to do. So anyway, so we just, whoa, so this big burly German sergeant come over here. What do you want to do? Oh, I'll go back to your division. Okay, thank you. All right, see you later. That was a guy that break up pockets of resistance. He looked like a Nazi, for crying out loud. I mean, seriously. Big heavy accent. I don't know where he's from. Anyway, so that was pretty interesting. So we go back and, put our helmets away, and now we're fixing our helmets, And I think I wore a helmet after that for years. But anyway, so one time you need it, you don't have it. It's kind of funny because our helmets are down here. Try to look over our helmet, Like B.D. Bailey, the old comic strip, the helmet's down here. Or that general, the insurance, that's what he looked like, the helmet's right here above his eyebrows. Anyway, so that was an interesting one. Okay, so now fast forward later. Here's another riot. I don't say we caused this, but we poked the animal, so to speak. Working Vice. There was a fight, a big fight that was going to be televised, okay? And a lot of people were, I think it was HBO. We have to buy the feed. Well, this one guy decided to have a theater, advertise that he was a punk rock guy. So he says, we'll have punk rockers here, and we're going to have a band, and we're going to show the fight, and we're going to sell booze. Okay, up there went booze. Got the flyer. Somebody called it in. Who called it in? The bar down the street. Okay, he saw the notice on the wall, and so we start calling around. They have no license. Whatever they put on the wall is phony. They have no authorization to sell booze. Okay, that's a big administrative felony for the alcohol and beverage control people. Oh my gosh. Because they want the funds. In order to get a permit to sell booze, you have to pay whatever fee. Not very much, a couple $100, to be able to sell. Because now you're selling, and you have to certify that the beer's hasn't been open and it's out. All this stuff that you have to, because you're basically selling a food product. We call it beer food. Some people think it is. Some people take it intravenously. Who knows? But anyway, so they called us. I said, would you mind? Told us, would you mind going in there and writing who's ever selling the booze? Take a sample and run the booze. Okay, fine. So I'm gonna have a side reel come up here in a minute. Okay. So anyway, so then believe it or not, HBO was calling around because they said that the guy wants that they think he's going to steal a feed from a neighbor that's bought the feed from next door. And they're not happy about that. Okay, because I guess they get more money if they do it to a theater or something like that. I have no idea how HBO did this. I have no idea whether they just have a flat fee for, maybe they charge more for that versus you and I wanted to buy the fight for $9.99, whatever they charged those days. Okay, so. Well, it was whatever. That wasn't our business. It wasn't our business. Okay, but punk rock concert, which is involved in this thing, and the booze was ours. Punk rock concert was more a patrol function. We got the beer. Okay. Here's a side note going off. Okay, I'll get off the side here. So my partner's black, and I'm Mexican, and we're dressed to the nines. We got the long hair, so we can't go in there and buy. This is all, and people are arriving later on. They ultimately, it's punk rockers, so it's all white people. Okay, and this is a black area, which is really amazing. And they rented this hall. So we can't go in there. So we had to get some people to buy booze for us so we can have evidence, and then we'll go and write a ticket to the guy selling beer. So we had 2 recruits from the academy, a guy and a girl. And we requested that they help us, and they're all excited. They get the word Vice. I mean, can you imagine, you're out of the academy a month, and Vice is calling you to help them. Okay, whoa, that's pretty cool. So we briefed them. Okay, look, Saturday night we're going to do this. We're going to have you go in there. We're going to give you a tube with a cork on the end. We want you to buy some beer, go in the bathroom, fill up the beer with a cork it, come outside, give it to us, and then tell us who did it, and we'll go in and write a ticket, and your job is done, and that's pretty much it. Simple. Okay. Dressed like punk rockers, though, because they're Caucasian officers, and we need to look like punk rockers. Okay, so Saturday night, early, 6 o'clock, they show up. The girl, fantastic. Hair up in a ponytail to the side, big makeup, jewelry hanging everywhere, wearing a vest with all kinds of stuff on it, look great. The guy, Izod shirt, golf shirt, and, Dockers. Izod and Dockers! Okay? We're undercover here! Anyway, so we're kind of like, whoa, where'd you come off of that? What's that, LLB ad? What the hell is this? He goes, well, is this all right? Oh, but for now, I turned out he was a very straight arrow guy, didn't know how to do this, okay? So, I'm getting on a side note here. Okay, fine. So we said, oh, yeah, whatever. It'll be fine. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Maybe they think that's unique, that you're dressing like a straight person. Who knows what punk rockers think? I have no idea. It's like me going to a Halloween party dressed as a cop. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. There's something weird there. Anyway, so we go there. Set them in. We're outside. My partner and I waiting for them to come out. Okay, they come out, and the girl takes it out of her bra and a little tube with beer in it. Oh, great. Who did it? Give us a description. Oh, it's only one guy. Okay, fine. He comes out, this young kid with the lacrosse shirt or whatever, Izod shirt. He's got a pee stain this big around his crotch. Okay. I go, what happened to you? He goes, oh, detective, I'm so embarrassed. I thought he's going to tell me he's pissing himself. Okay. Because I have another story. A guy went to a massage parlor and finished early and came back. That's another whole story altogether. But anyway, so I thought maybe he peed on himself. What happened? Well, it's kind of our fault. You have a beverage with effervescence, and you put it in a tube and you put the cork on it. It's going to pop the cork, right, if you shake it. So what happened was, he put the beer in the bathroom, put it in the tube, corked it, put it in his pocket, apparently put it on upside down, then he went to walk out, and it popped, and it was all over his crotch, okay. So he said, I had to go back in there and get the beer, would you? Well, I threw it in the trash. Well, it's okay, it's the same beer. Any more beer bottles in the trash? No, okay, just give me the thing, okay. So he brought out a righteous tube, but now his crotch is all wet. So, you guys, go back to the station, we'll talk to you later. Okay, so go back to the station. Okay, so we go in there and write him a ticket. Well, in the meantime, punkers are arriving, okay. A lot of movie parts in this story, man. Seriously. So we write him a ticket. We get a can of all this. So far, he's made probably about $400 or $500 already. So we seize the money, gave him a ticket for the money, or receipt for the money, and we wrote him a ticket. Said you can't be selling booze here, and if we're going to come back later, we lied. If we find more booze, we're going to take all your booze and everything. No, I'll put him. He only had a few cases. He was going to make some extra money, so he's already loaded them in his car, and he wants to get out of there because the punkers are coming. 80, 200. They're loading this place up. Okay. Well. We found out, I didn't know this, but it's now about 10 o'clock at night, and HBO had contacted the station. They never told us, the police station. So this one lieutenant, who's kind of aggressive, was going to go in there and shut down the concert and the HBO because they're not supposed to be there. The HBO is going to stop the feed, and there's pirating, I guess that's the right word, this feed, and they They could shut down to the neighbor, and which means shut down here. And then there was an author. They didn't have a permit for the dance or the concert or the booze or nothing. So this lieutenant's going to shut it down. So we didn't know this. So we're writing him a ticket. As we're in there writing him a ticket, this lieutenant arrives with like 15 cops, and they go into the theater. There's like 250 punk rockers in there, and they get on the stage, and they tell them it's an unlawful assembly. You're going to have to go. All this stuff. Now we're walking out of the place, and we heard this. We're looking over like, oh man, they're going to shut this down. So we walk outside, and that's when the S hit the fan. Okay, apparently somebody threw a chair at the officers on the stage. So now pepper spray's coming out. Okay, by police. We had tear gas then. We didn't have pepper spray then. The old tear gas. So they're spraying tear gas. Everybody freaks out. They start fighting among themselves. I don't know how that works. I'm not a punk rocker. Okay, they're throwing chairs everywhere. They're jumping the cops. Somebody puts out. We have radios on our hips now, so they're putting out help calls, and we see people running out of the theater, punkers carrying chairs and clubs, and so we're minorities, man. We're not supposed to be here. So we go into a little alcove across the street because we're stuck there. Our car's over there, and they're coming out like ants coming out of a fire hole. Fire ants coming out of their hole, and we're just standing in the doorway, and there's people running and screaming. Their kids are with their kids. They're all kids with chairs, and they're busting out windows on the cars that are parked at the curve. They're busting out windows on the storefronts because this theater has got storefronts all the way down both sides. Other businesses breaking those out. They're dancing on the street. They're jumping around. We're like, oh my gosh! And then of course I didn't know this, but in the meantime, the help calls are going out. The last story I told you, putting out help calls. Okay. This response was as big, if not bigger, than the American Legion Hall. Okay, we're there for about 20 minutes. They're running up and down the streets. Cops are in foot pursuit. They had a strip mall, maybe a block and a half long, from the main street going off the main drag where the theater was, and then a block and a half long, and then it's houses. Well, these guys are running to the houses in people's yards and throwing chairs through the window, your window, when you're watching television. Okay, so they're calling the cops. So. Choppers overhead, 2 choppers with spotlights, the awful assembly, 250 some punk rockers are now on the street throwing stuff and fighting the cops. And we're just standing there in this little alcove watching it. We can't move, we're stuck. If we get out, someone's gonna hit us. Either the punk rockers or the cops, because we look horrible. So we're just standing there, people running around. Finally, you can tell when it's slowing down because all of a sudden you don't see people run anymore. You see, you don't hear a lot of sirens. You don't see people running. So we look out. From where we're looking that way to the intersection, like there's 25 people lined up handcuffed. Okay, and cops running this way, like 10 people over here handcuffed. They've kind of got it down there about a half an hour. Some kind of order. Okay, everybody's handcuffed. So we come out, we look, and we see one of the sergeants. He goes, okay. He knew us. So we walk away like, let's get out of here. We're walking down the street looking. Well, we get to the intersection, huge. I can probably say where it is now. It's Adams and Crenshaw. Okay, Crenshaw is 5 lanes each way. Adams is 4 lanes each. Huge intersection. There must have been, I'd say, at least 60 police cars there. And at that time, I'd been on the department probably 10 years, I guess. Yeah. And I'd seen all police cars in the LA area have numbers on the top of their car, and that number represents what division you're working. Like where I was working, it was lost my number for a second. It was 7. It was 8. It was 8. Okay. Division next to it was 3. Over here was 7. Over there was 5. So you kind of know where these cars come from. Well, I'm walking here and I'm looking at these car numbers, and I see numbers I've never seen before, which means they're from the San Fernando Valley. These guys responded like 20 miles away. Okay, I'm going, whoa, because they're all lined up everywhere, and there's lights are all going. So we're looking, oh my gosh, and my partner, look at that. I've never heard that number before. Where's that number from? We're trying to figure out who these cars are from because I've never seen them before. Strange people. So now we get in our car and we drive back to the station. Well, we had a really bad supervisor. We had a good one and a bad one. The bad one wouldn't take any risks, put you in front of him before any kind of thing would go on. Never couldn't make a decision. So as we walk in, he goes, yeah, I heard on the radio you guys might be involved in that. Might be involved in that. You sent us there. You have a radio on top of your desk hearing these help calls go out. You didn't get off your fat ass, get in the car, and go down and see if we're okay? You're our supervisor. I didn't want to say that. I'm like, and the other supervisor looks at us, I'm going, goes, yeah, I just got in. I didn't hear what was going on. Okay. okay, I'm gonna have to, I can't finish this because we're out of time. Okay, so, oh no, I keep going. Okay, it's almost over. She gave me the sign here. Okay. So anyway, it's almost over. So anyway, so we weren't happy about that. Okay, fine, so we're done. So the two recruits are there, and now his pee stain is dried a little bit, and they're standing there. Okay, so we thanked them, and they fill out a form for what the money they spent for the beer, and we thanked them. Okay, so they're leaving, and I said, oh, thanks a lot. So they both left. So as we closed the door, we explained to my supervisor what these guys did, and I said the girl was great, but the guy was kind of, weird. And I made this nice statement, which was a wonderful statement I made. I said, what kind of recruits are coming out of the academy now in 1980? These things are useless, especially that guy. Eyes out shirt, Dockers, he peed himself. We're making more jokes about that, right? Yeah, I was a good choice. This guy made deputy chief, retired last year. Okay, so I really good choice of someone who's squared away. I was good about the girl though. I said she's going to go well because she could take orders and be very innovative and be a little bit, out of the box. She turned out to be one of the first lady fire captains in San Diego Fire Department. So I don't mention her name, but she turned out to be really smart. She could tell she got her act together. The other guy was more of these stray old bookworms, and that's where he got his job. But it's pretty good. So I mean, a lot of people. Oh, it was just amazing. And I'll tell you, just a little bit here in the end. I remember being at I'm talking 15 years later. I'm at the Academy Cafe having lunch, and a guy comes in, he looks at me, and he goes, "Hey!" I go, "Hey!" I don't know who he is. He goes, "Punk rock concert. Crenshaw and Adams." Says, "I was there, man. I never saw somebody come in my life." So we beat these guys with our sticks. I go, "Yeah." So we kind of started. "Yeah, we heard it. I started it." I said, "Well, we really didn't, but we did." And because that was awesome. And he just walks away. So these guys remember this stuff. He was probably from the Valley, which the biggest thing got out there is two guys smoking dope on a corner. Probably, who knows what comes on in Reseda and out there. But anyway, he was all excited. He saw the guys that actually started it. We really didn't start it. We just kind of went in there and left. I mean, it wasn't us. It was that crazy lieutenant tear gassing everybody. But anyway, so that's our two riots. There'll be more later on when I get some time to do these. Okay, hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye-bye.